If you're a gamer, then you may have been following the recent series of teasers for the highly anticipated Batman Arkham City game, a sequel to the critically acclaimed 2009 game Arkham Asylum. Interestingly, some of those hints for the sequel have been found as Easter eggs within the original Arkham Asylum game. A hidden room in Arkham Asylum was discovered by gamers in 2010, containing clues about the upcoming sequel that were coded into the game in 2009. This is pretty cool, but if you're playing on a pirated copy of the game, you won't be able to find it. Another Easter egg coded into the game is a glitch, affecting Batman's gliding abilities that only activates when the game has been pirated. A gamer once complained about the glitch on the developer's support forum, accidentally revealing himself as a pirate, to which the developers replied, "It's not a bug in the game's code, it's a bug in your moral code." Burn. This is a common form of copy protection used in a lot of video games. Most software will attempt to validate itself when it initially loads. Since this type of validation behavior is predictable, hackers can easily bypass it by creating a software patch that modifies the validation checker. So in order to make video games harder to crack, game designers hide different validation checks throughout various levels within the game, making it impossible for a pirate to complete the game even if they get past the validation screen. In a sense, the game's code is protected by a series of traps just as wacky and improbable as the architecture of a video game dungeon. The broken gliding function in Batman Arkham Asylum is just one example of this kind of copy protection. Another example would be in Ubisoft's Michael Jackson The Experience game. If the game detects that it's been pirated, it will replace Michael Jackson's songs with droning vuvuzelas. And in the Japanese dating game Love Plus, the virtual girls will refuse to date anyone playing a pirated copy of the game, no matter what the player says. Some games even include clever anti-piracy measures hidden in the game's packaging. The original Monkey Island came with a paper disc that the player had to dial to unlock a password required to install the game. Leisure Suit Larry 2 had a similar feature, a little black book included with the game. The player had to enter the phone numbers of the right girls in order to play. And Metal Gear Solid famously broke the fourth wall and instructed the player to get a password from the back of the game's CD case. But the most bizarre and perhaps the most cruel anti-piracy trick ever can be seen in the Super Nintendo classic, Earthbound. A frozen warning screen will appear when a bootleg copy of the game is loaded. If the pirate can hack past that screen, they can proceed to play through the entire game normally, only with tons of new enemies added. The game will be playable but less fun, and if the player manages to trudge through the entire super hard version of the game and reach the final boss, the game will freeze, and upon reset, the player will find all of their save data deleted. Evil! It just goes to show you that crime doesn't pay, and that you don't have to be a rich orphan to administer vigilante justice. Rather than relying on annoying DRM or legal action, game developers are fighting piracy on their own, by being awesome.